those are your favorite. I'm not great at engraving, but I want to get better because of those cups. But yeah, so let's get started without too much further ado. We'll start out with something easy, and then we'll move on to something a little more difficult if we have time. So let's start with the little things, as we have been discussing. So I grabbed one of our little bezel packs. These are from the UV Resin Starter Kit, so I grabbed these from that kit. So if you guys still have these around, it's a great UV Resin kit to have if you're new to the game, or if you're looking just to kind of get some new products or try some new things. It's a great way to start. So let's go ahead and just pull out the little bezels from this. We're going to use 2 of these little gold hearts. Now on to the little things, right? Because that's what we're excited about. So we picked these 2 little things, and I had the guys help me. This is a tiny little thing of popcorn and a tiny little Pepsi can. So they're very small. You can barely see them. But yeah, these fit really nicely in the little bezels like that. So we're going to go ahead and pose them in here. But first, before we do that, let's grab our little tape, and we're going to go ahead and just peel off a piece of tape. This, guys, is a great way to use when you're starting out with resin. I know you guys can get like silicone mats, things like that, that'll also hold the resin in place. But this is perfect for beginners or anyone just looking to do something small and quick without having to invest in one of those little mats. So we'll go ahead and use this, and then we're going to set the little bezel on top of the tape like that. Oops. We're going to be careful not to touch the tape where the bezels are because we don't want to leave our little fingerprints in there. And perfect, there we go. Let me center that for you guys. Awesome. Okay, so now I've got that down. The first layer that we're going to do, the first layer that we're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead and we'll pour just a little bit of resin in the backs of these here, just so we create a nice smooth little background. So I'm going to go and put on my gloves for that, and then we'll pour some resin. Now don't forget, guys, when you're using UV resin, especially if you don't use it a lot or you don't know how it's going to react, you should always use your gloves. Better be safe than sorry, so protective equipment is essential. So I've got nitrile gloves on right now. And I'm going to start pouring a little bit of resin in these bezels. So here we go. And right now I'm just putting enough to cover the background, guys. The reason why we're doing this is basically this first layer that I'm pouring, this is going to be the back piece. So you want this to be nice and smooth. So we're going to go ahead and just fill it in with a little bit of UV resin just to cover the background. Okay, and that should be about enough. What's nice about the resin is it is self-leveling, so if we give it a second, it should start to even out on its own. But we also have our little handy-dandy MakerFlo wands that came out in the last year as well. So we'll go ahead and use these just to spread out the resin from edge to edge to make sure it's really filled in. Let me know if you guys have questions as we go. I tend to go through this resin stuff a little fast, so just make sure you guys are asking those questions if you have it. All right, so I've got that one pretty much filled in. Let's go ahead and spread out this resin here. Awesome. Now, these little things that we're adding in here, they are really cool on their own, but let's say you wanted to make a background. So like, let's say you wanted to fill this in with color or anything like that, you definitely could. I want to add just a little bit of a sparkle to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, yeah, we could switch. I'm going to go ahead and pull out one of my little alcohol inks here. So this one specifically, this is a rainbow alcohol ink. So this isn't going to be colorant, but it is going to add like a nice little sparkle to everything. So we're going to go ahead and add this in before we cure it, just to get that background nice and colored. So here we go. And you see as soon as I drop that in, it starts to kind of spread out. Looks really cool, right? And you really don't need a whole lot, just enough to kind of cover the background. So see how it's got that kind of like iridescent look to it? You can see all that sparkle happening. Looks really cool. I'm going to just make sure that that is all over the bezel, and then we'll cure this layer. What do you think, guys? That adds quite a shine to it, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I was watching very intensely.
Excellent. And I'm trying not to get too stuck on this tape. Awesome. Now, next thing we'll do is we'll grab our flashlight. We're going to go ahead and cure this bottom layer for about 30 seconds or so. It doesn't need a whole lot of time at all because there's not a whole lot of resin. So I'm going to focus from the top and slowly kind of work my way closer so I don't shock the resin. But yeah, it's really cool to see it kind of sparkle. And even closer up, you can really, really see the shine. But yeah, this is starting to cure already. Should be just about done. I'm gonna go and give a little tap. Yeah, it's feeling good so far. Now remember, whenever you add any colorants to your resin, it will take a little bit longer to cure. So let's give this just a little extra time just to make sure that we really got everything. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, cool. So we'll turn off our flashlights. Now, next thing you want to do is we're going to go ahead and add in a little drop of resin to act as the glue. Now, this is going to hold our little things in place. So we'll go ahead and just put a little bit in the middle where I want those to go. Put one drop here, one drop here. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and place our items. Now these are just little miniatures that I found on Amazon. You can get stuff like this from Amazon. Just Google like dollhouse miniatures and you can find stuff like this. But it's just a really kind of fun way to add something different to your resin pieces. Now these are 3D, meaning they will not be buried in the bezel. They will pop out a little bit. So kind of place it the way you want and then keep going. Yeah, Jesse?
Positively Creative said, I'm late, but glad I made it.
Awesome, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
On YouTube.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and set my little Pepsi can where I want it. Excellent. So go ahead and just make sure those are placed where you want them to. Now keep in mind, because the things are so light, they will move in the resin. So if they're not sticking where you want them to, you might have to hold it for a second. But if they're stuck the way you want and you don't need to do anything else, we'll go ahead and start curing these. Yes, Jesse?
Shay's Creation said hello.
Hey, Shay's Creation, how's it going? Now, guys, you'll notice that I'm curing from kind of the bottom here. The reason why I'm curing at an angle is we put about a pool of resin where those little items are. So we're only really curing what was to the side of it so that they're stuck in place. See how this doesn't want to move anymore? That's pretty stuck. So now we'll do the same thing to the soda can. And we're going to wait for that to get stuck, and then we're going to fill in the rest of it with resin. That way it really secures everything in place. But yeah, see how those little guys pop out of the bezels? They're not going to be enclosed in the bezels, but they will be pretty hard to get out of there. And then yeah, looks like that soda can's nice and stuck too, so we're good on that. Awesome. Now we're just going to go ahead and fill in the sides with a little bit more UV resin. Now this is where you want to use a little finesse. You don't want to overfill. If you do overfill, it's not the end of the world. You can always grab a drill and drill through the hole if you get it in the hole. Otherwise, if you just go over the bezel, you can just clip off that UV resin. So I'm going to fill all this up, and then I'm going to use my little wand to make sure that I got all of the parts of the bezel. Has anyone done anything like this before, just out of curiosity? Who out there has been playing with UV resin and the little things? Just curious.
Let's see.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. Just going to do a few more drops.
Said it's super cute. Love that 3D look.
Awesome. All right, I think that one's filled in pretty well. So now let's do the same thing to our little soda can. And again, guys, the reason why we're doing it like this is we wanted to attach the little item in place. And now we are filling it with resin so that it's really just stuck. Here we go. And then once we filled this, I'll give it just a second to settle, just to make sure that that resin kind of spreads out the way it wants to, and that it's as covered as possible. We can also use our little wand to kind of poke around and make sure it's filled correctly.
Carrie says she's not done anything like this, but I think she needs to try.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Carrie. I even ordered some kind of little special items too for like a vendor show I have coming up, so you can make these really custom. Yeah, Jesse?
Kim Irwin said hello.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, this is pretty well filled up. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I've got it everywhere. Yep. This little pointy end of the wand does a lot of the heavy lifting, so I'm really just kind of moving it around to make sure that I got everything. Yeah, those look good. So now it's time to cure, guys. So we'll go ahead and cure again from the top. And then I'm slowly going to get closer. This time I'm going to do about a full minute, just because it's the most resin I've used so far. So I'll go ahead and just kind of count in my head, and we will get these cured. what we'll work on next is we'll show you how to do something fun with the molds and a little bit of our seashells. And if we get through that, we can mess with some more little things. So I got plenty of stuff to play with today. It's amazing how quickly this stuff cures too. I could probably touch it already, but I'm going to give it a little extra time just to make sure. And I'm making sure that I hit it from all of the different angles so that it's all nice and cured. Once this side is done, we'll also go ahead and flip it over and do the back for a little bit just to make sure we got the back nice and cured as well. Especially since we use that alcohol ink. Yeah, these are starting to feel really good. They're not sticking to my glove. Awesome, except for the tape.
Carrie said, looks fun. I might have to try it.
Yeah, these are super cool. Very fun, little easy project, and just a great way to kind of customize what you have. The combinations you can make with these are pretty endless too. Like I was telling the guys, I like to put different things together. So like for instance, this is popcorn and soda. I did one with like a Big Mac and a bottle of soda. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Jesse?
How long did you cure the first layer of resin and the bezel?
About 30 seconds, not too long, 30 to 45. It really depends on how much colorant you put in there. Because the colorant that I put in there was pretty clear, I didn't need to give it too much time, but if it was more of a darker color, you'd probably give it a little more time. Yeah, it feels pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and peel these off. Yep, awesome. These cured just how I wanted them to, and we didn't over cure them because I don't see any tape sticking. So perfect. All right, guys, let's take a look at these. Let's see, this one over here. Where is it? There we go. So see these little guys? A little popcorn and soda can. Looks pretty cool, huh? And then that iridescent background, you can really kind of see it shine. That looks super neat. Cool. Okay, so we did our first pair, guys. That was awesome. We'll just leave these to the side, and let's work on one of these molds next. So I brought these out, guys. These are one of the items that we released over the last year. These are our oval molds. So you can do a lot of fun stuff with this. I've seen a lot of people making like little picture keepsakes. These are kind of the perfect shape for that. I thought it'd be cool to make like a beach scene in one of these, so that's what we're going to do right now. I brought all my handy little shells that were also released this year. So we're just really having fun making fun little resin custom accessories. Alright, now, there are 3 different sizes in this mold set. Sorry for all that plastic noise. Okay, but there's 3 different sizes. What's nice about these is they come in pairs. So this is a pair, this is a pair, this is a pair. So you can technically make 3 different earring sets at once. You can make some of them into necklaces. You can really do what you want with these 6 shapes. What we're going to do is we're going to make one necklace type of a thing. So we'll go ahead and let's use this one right here. And I'm going to create a fun little beach scene in that big oval. And this will be like a pendant because I think that's about the perfect size for it. So let's go ahead and first we'll start with some UV resin because again, the bottom is going to be, well, actually this time, the bottom's not going to be the back because you want it to be smooth. So this is going to actually be the front. So we're going to be building this upside down, technically. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our first layer. And our first layer is going to be a little bit of resin. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill this in. Again, you just want a thin layer for your first layer. So we'll go ahead and make this nice and thin. We just want it to cover the backing of the mold. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and spread it out with our little wand just to make sure. And if your wand gets dirty, guys, because you're using it with other UV resin, don't worry. You can always cure it and peel that off. You can also just wash it with some soap and water if it's got any like remaining glitter or anything like that on there. All right, this is looking pretty good. I think maybe just a little bit more resin in here, just to make sure it's filled. There we go. And I'll give it a second to kind of pan out. All right, so now that we have enough resin in here, we'll go ahead and just spread it along to make sure that the whole bottom is covered, or the whole front in our case. And here we go. Okay. So now that that first layer is done, we're going to go ahead and cure this. This is basically going to act like the laminate of our scene that we're creating. That way it looks nice and glossy and it's all coated in resin. So we'll go ahead and cure this first layer. Now if you see bubbles, anything like that, you can always go ahead and shoot a quick little torch gun at it. You can use a heat gun, anything like that. I don't really see too many bubbles in here, and this is just for purposes of this live, so we'll go ahead and just leave it as is. I will peel out this little piece of dried resin that came off of my wand, but yeah. Yes, Jesse.
Cruz said, hello, MakerFlo family.
Hey, Cruz, how's it going? It's good to see you. All right. Perfect. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's go ahead and cure this top layer. I'm going to put my little resin cap back on, and we'll cure it. Now, for this first layer, there's a little bit more resin than we did last time, so let's do about 45 seconds. Typically, depending on the size of the layer you're doing, anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds is typically what you're looking for. For the thicker layers, you might want to go up to 90, but you really don't need a whole lot of time. This resin cures very quickly. Okay, and I got a little bit closer as I'm just about ending my cure time here. We're only 20 minutes in, too. I am breezing by this. We'll probably get some more minis.
Yeah, we will. We have about 20 more minutes.
Awesome.
Liza said hi.
Hey, Liza, how's it going? Awesome. First layer is cured. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our fun little layer of all of the shenanigans. So I'm going to go ahead and just spread out a little bit of resin for a few reasons. Now, I want to go ahead and add in some kind of sea creature life. So let's use this big shell here that I've been waiting to use for a while. This starfish. I'm going to go ahead and put him right here. Awesome. And then I might use a shell a little bit later too. Okay, so now it really depends. It's up to you what you want to do. But let's switch to this overhead camera so they can kind of see me placing the stuff in here. So cool. So far we've got a little sea starfish, and we'll go ahead and add a little bit more. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to put glitter just on the bottom because I want it to kind of look like sand. Because this is such a small mold, I'm just going to sprinkle some glitter in. Typically, I would advise you to mix it in one of these bowls with resin, but we're just going to sprinkle a little bit for the effect. So I'm going to use my tape from last time just to cover the top layer here. That way I don't get the glitter over there. All right, here we go. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit of glitter toward the bottom to look like the beach. Perfect. Okay, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and grab a little bit of our alcohol ink, and we're going to add in some color. So remember, you want to always shake these guys up before you use them, and definitely make sure you're using your gloves because they do like to get messy. I'm just going to drop in a little bit of color toward the top and let that spread. And then I'm going to do the same thing with a little bit of green, just to really make that beach look. Okay. Now, if you want to get real fancy with it and add a little bit of waves, we'll go ahead and drop some of our deep white color into this little bowl that I have here, and we're going to use our wand to make some waves. So I just put some color right in there. And then I'm going to use my wand here, and I'm just going to make some waves. They can be as big or as little as you want them to be. They don't need to make sense. This is your beach. It looks however you think it should look. All right, so I feel pretty good about that. Now I'm going to add one more little shell, I think. Let's add this guy right here. Perfect. Okay. All right, so I've added the ones I want to add, and now I'm going to go ahead and, actually, let's remove him. He's a little bit too big for this mold, so we'll leave that to the side. Let's use one of these little guys instead. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now let's cure it. So basically, once you've added kind of all of your little scene to place, and again, I put everything in there upside down because this is going to be, the way that we're looking at it is the back of it. So the front is going to be underneath the mold, essentially. So we'll cure this side. We're going to do another layer of resin over everything to lock everything in place. We'll flip it upside down, and then this is going to be done. But yeah, we've got a little starfish, we got a little shell in there, and we made some waves. I'm going to kind of just poke around, see how it's doing. Yeah, it's already starting to cure. Give it maybe 20 more seconds and we should be done with this and able to add in some more resin. I'm just going to move all my little pieces to the side. So remember guys, we have all these cute little shells on the site right now. Basically all of the things I'm using at the moment. The wand, the bowl, the resin, the glitter, the molds, everything except for the little guys here. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. Cool. So now we can add resin to complete the scene. And then we'll flip it upside down to see what it actually looks like after this side is cured. Now guys, when you pour in your resin, you're just covering everything with resin. You don't have to be too finessey with this. You're literally just coating everything to make sure it's all locked in place and nice and smooth. The one thing to be careful about is there is a little peg at the top. You want to make sure you don't overfill that peg. If you do, we'll just have to bring out our friend the power drill. Okay. It's looking pretty good, guys. I'm just making sure everything over here is coated nice and evenly. And then we'll start to cure it. If for some reason you miss a corner or anything like that, you can always go back later and add a little bit more resin, cure it again. But it's nice to try to catch everything from the first go. So yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and cure it. Now we'll start again nice and high, and then we're slowly going to bring in the light to it. So from the back, I can already see how cool this is going to look. I'm excited to turn it around and get the final effect. Now, who out there likes the beach? How many beachy things have you guys been making lately? Are we getting ready for the summer because we're tired of winter? I know I am. It's very cold, but as soon as it gets hot, I'll probably miss the winter. So we'll see. We're going to give it about 30 more seconds. And I'm slowly getting closer. Yep, already starting to cure nicely. Once this side is done, remember you always want to cure the other side of it. Whenever you're adding color, just make sure you hit both sides. Yes, Jessie?
Jeanette said she misses the beach.
Me too.
Me three.
So if you guys don't see us on our next live, just know that we're all at the beach. No.
Live from the beach.
Yeah. All right, that's feeling pretty cool. Let's go ahead and flip the whole thing upside down and peel the other side, or I'm sorry, cure the other side. So this is kind of your first glimpse at what everything will look like. So you can really see the colors a little bit better. You can kind of see how your starfish did. You can see that little shell. From this side is where you get kind of the better view, but once you peel it, it's going to look awesome. So we'll give about 30 seconds to make sure everything is cured from this side as well, and then we'll unpeel it. All right, so while I'm curing this, it looks like we have a little bit more time. So I'm gonna let you guys decide which ones we should do. Let me go ahead and pull out my minis while this is curing. I'll just set that down for a second. Okay guys, so I need your votes. Which ones would you like to see next? These little black diamond shapes that we have with cake and milk. Because, you know, goes together. Or should we do these cute little boba drinks in these picture frames? Let me know. The first one with the most votes wins. Yeah, so we'll give you a couple minutes to decide on that while I'm finishing this item here. Yes, Jessie?
And then Jeanette asked, where are you guys located?
We are in Chandler, Arizona, so unfortunately nowhere near
By
the
the
beach.
beach.
It is a whole state over. All right, this should be pretty cured by now. So let's go ahead and peel that out, see how we did. Oh yeah, that looks super cool. What do we think, guys? Let me, here we go. Nope, farther away. There we go.
There it is.
What do you think, guys? Pretty cool?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can see little waves in there, little seashell. Oh, it's a perfect little seascape. Awesome. So we are just trucking along, guys. Look at us, already completed 3 projects. So we have a set of earrings, we have a necklace. Now, has anyone voted? We doing cake and milk, or are we doing boba drinks?
Not yet. Let's see.
We'll move to in-house votes if you guys don't react soon. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down my tape just to get ready. Now, again, the tape is harder with gloves on, so let's see how well I can do this.
Becca said milk and cake.
There we go, milk and cake.
And 2 for milk and cake.
All right.
1 for boba drinks. 2 for boba.
Oh.
All right, last one. Milk or boba? Boba.
Boba wins.
Boba wins.
All right, so they're going to be little boba drinks. So let me go ahead and just, yep, perfect. Okay, so I've got that set up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the little frames in here. Now for these, I think we'll do the same thing. Let's make that fun little iridescent background again, right guys? That rainbow color is pretty cool. So I'm going to keep that on standby here. I'm going to go ahead and do something I didn't do with the first set. I'm going to make sure that this is pressed nice and tightly against the resin tape. That way the resin doesn't leak through. Awesome. And then let's pour just a little bit of resin to create that background.
And we got another milk and cake and another boba vote.
The boba already won, but we appreciate your votes, guys.
Keep voting. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, how much time do we have? No.
We have 13 minutes.
13 minutes? Think I can get them both done? I think I could.
Yeah.
This one's easy. All right, let's do it. Let's peel off a little bit more tape and we'll do the other one as well. Let's see if I can get them both done. And then next, guys, we have an exciting live plan for you next with a new product. Does anybody want to hear about what's happening next? Let me know. Maybe we'll tell you something. We'll see. I don't know if we should. Danny, are we allowed to tell them anything? Or do you want them to be surprised?
I asked you, and you seem like, oh, I don't want to say too much of it. But I mean, we have an official day, right?
We do. We have an official day, and it's
I
Friday.
think it's fair game.
I think so.
I mean, and our head honchos are away at a trade show, so I mean.
Jeanette said yes. What's next? And Jen said, oh, heck yes. They want to hear it.
All right.
You have to wait and see.
Well, I'm going to give you some clues before we tell you what it is. We'll see if anyone can guess. So we've been putting some stuff on the stories lately.
Who cares?
I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but we've been putting that they're coming soon. So if you've been checking out the stories, you might already have kind of a clue. But it is a different size product of a size that we have just recently launched. And what's really cool about it is the handles that we launched for that new product actually are the same size handles as another product. So the 40-ounce powder coated, you guys have been loving those with their awesome colorful handles, but maybe they're just a little bit too big for you, or maybe you just want something a little smaller, which is understandable. Maybe we have something that's going to come and help you with that.
Ashley said hey.
Hey Ashley, how's it going? I'm still waiting on my new design. Thanks for being a friend with the 4 friends. So let me know when you're done with that. Jesse doesn't know yet, so it'll be a surprise to Jesse. It's gonna be a cool surprise. Danny knows about it.
Danny will tell me later. I'm just kidding.
No, I won't. I won't tell you anything.
That was a real late response.
I won't tell you.
He was thinking about it.
I'm not going to tell you nothing.
All right, so that is all filled in. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do our little drop of the alcohol ink. And then we're going to start adding in our little pieces once we
Ashley
cure this.
said, ha 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 ha. I need the stuff from you first.
No, you have stuff available. You're just not using your resources.
And Jen said 30-ounce tumbler question mark?
Yes, Jen, yes. So Jen knows that's what's happening. 30-ounce tumblers coming to a MakerFlo Crafts near you very soon. Do we have
Only near Arizona.
Huh?
If you're near Arizona.
If you're near Arizona. That's true. Then you can get them first. And not have to wait for shipping.
How do you not have a Dr. Pepper charm?
So I don't know if it came with Dr. Pepper, but that's definitely a good one to have. It did come with Coke and Pepsi and Tampico, but no, or Fanta, but no, no Dr. Peppers. Good to know. All right, so let's go ahead and cure this first layer, guys. And then we'll go ahead and add in our little minis. We're doing about 30 seconds on this first layer because we didn't use very much resin. .30 seconds. What's really nice too is the rainbow alcohol ink. You can actually see it moving while the resin's still wet. So it kind of lets you know once the resin is cured because the little sprinkling stops moving. So that's pretty cool.
And Jeanette said, that's exciting. I love all your products.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeanette. We're excited for you to try it. Those 30s are really cool. We're very excited. And I'd say my favorite thing is that they come in all 10 of the colors. So we've recently been launching products and making sure that we add a new color and that we do all of the colors that we have available. So 10 colors, 10 handles. It's awesome. Perfect. Okay, so these are nice and cured. So now we're going to go add a drop of resin as our glue, and then we'll add our littles. Again, guys, these are bezels that were found in our UV resin starter kit. So if you have one of those and you haven't used your bezel yet, this is a great way to do it. Or if you haven't even started with resin yet and you need a way to do it, that's probably going to be the easiest way. So jump on in. The resin does not bite. All right, here we go. Okay, so I put my little boba drinks in here. I kind of want the straws to like both go a little sideways. So I'm trying to place that the way I want it. So remember how we were talking earlier how these like to move around? So with this one, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to cure it for just a second so I know that it's stuck in place. There we go. So now it's not going to move. We'll leave that there for a minute and I'm going to go ahead and place the other guys real quick. Awesome. So now the cake, we'll go ahead and put that in here. And you can really set these up any way you want, guys. It's up to you. If you don't want them to be dead center, they don't need to be. I just think they look cool in the center. But yeah, it's really up to you. And then we'll go ahead and put our milk. All right. Now the milk is doing the same thing the boba drink was doing. So we're going to hold it in place for a second and we're going to cure it. So let me just get this set where I want it to be. Here we go. Awesome. So now that's not moving. Okay. So I've got all my little minis stuck in place. I'm going to go ahead and cure each one for about 30-45 seconds, and then we'll fill with resin. Yes, Jesse?
How heavy are they?
They're super light. Do one of you guys want to kind of hold these and tell me what you think? I'm going to throw it at you. Ready?
Ow.
Okay. How heavy are they?
Like a nickel.
Like a nickel. Yeah. So looks like, so for people who wear earrings, they're very, very light. I've worn these as earrings before and they really just, they don't feel like much at all. So they're not heavy at all. Thanks, guys. And then I'm going to cure this one for about 30-45 seconds and then we will move to filling them. But yeah, guys, you can quickly make just fun, entertaining little projects and stuff like this. Like, I don't really see people using alcohol inks for the backgrounds. So when you do something like this, it's truly unique. And it's not something people are expecting. Like, they'll walk up and they'll see it. And it's not only does it look cool because it's a cute little miniature, but you've also added something extra to the background to make it truly special. And on top of that, with handmade goods, I know people always strive to make them unique. This is going to be unique because no alcohol ink drops will look like another. So there's no way to copy this if you wanted to. They're all going to look a little bit different. All right, those are looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and let that resin settle for a second and then I'll work on the other one. Again, with these, you just don't want to overfill. If you do overfill, it's not the end of the world, but just try not to. Awesome. Working on my last little mini right now. We'll cure these, flip them over, cure the back for a second, and then they are done. Okay. Awesome. What do we think, guys? Were these fun, easy? You guys feel more empowered to make UV resin items? Let me know. And what would you like us to see, or what would you like to see us working on next? Because we would love to bring you things that you want to see. Awesome. I feel like that's a pretty good amount. So now I'm going to go ahead and just use my little wand to make sure that I've spread all that resin evenly. Yep, awesome. It's looking pretty good. Guys. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and cure it because I've got that resin nice and evenly spread. So I'm starting up high because again, I'm using a bunch of resin, so I wanna make sure that this all cures evenly. I'm gonna cure each side for about 60 seconds. Any comments on what they want to see next, Jesse?
No comments on what they want to see next, but Liza said those are going to make earrings. Ashley said it's dope, and she loves the branded mat. Jennifer and Carrie said it looks very easy.
Awesome. Glad to hear it, guys. And that's really it. Like, we try to take some of the guesswork out of the crafts for you. That way you don't kind of have to try it on your own and experience if it's easy or difficult before, you know, you really decide if you like it. So hopefully these little tutorials that are quick and painless show you just how easy it can be to get into these crafts. They're starting to feel pretty dry. I'm going to give them just a little bit more time and then we'll flip them upside down and they're done.
Ashley said she wants to see us engrave on a camper mug.
Ashley, that is not the live for today.
It's a great idea. Can you get me a jig? I heard that the camper mug gives you trouble with the handle.
Yeah. I want to see you engrave a camper mug, Ashley.
And then Positively says, that looks so great. Never thought about putting 3D items into the bezels.
Yeah, it really gives like an extra kind of flair to it. Like it's something different that you wouldn't see every day. Let's go ahead and flip these upside down, get the back, and then they're done. Awesome. Yeah, these came out really easy, guys. I really like the way they look. I will give you one more pointer. If you get alcohol ink on the sides of your bezels, the easiest way to clear that off is get a little bit of alcohol and just put it on like a little paper towel to wipe it off. Comes off much easier on the bezels than it does on your hands, I promise. So wear your gloves as well. All right, so these should be good. Let's go ahead and peel them. I'm going to take off these gloves too. All right, so we'll peel the boba one first. That looks awesome. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at these little guys. Here we go. Nope, this way. Awesome. Those look really cute. Okay, so that's one. And then let's look at these little guys. So this is our cake and our milk. Or almond milk if you're lactose. So milk and cake. Here we go. What do we think? Pretty cool? There we go. Awesome.
Super cute.
All right, guys, so we did it. So in that maybe 40-minute crafting session, we made 3 pairs of earrings, we made a necklace, and we did all with UV resin, littles, and seashells. So I hope you guys had fun with this today. We'll be doing another fun craft live in about 15 minutes from now. Might be a new product, might be something totally awesome, and definitely going to see some more Danny. So got to tune in, guys. Instagram, TikTok, here we come. Anything else from you guys?
Stay
Stay crafty.